a very, very viable agent composition. So we'll have to see. Obviously, Shazam, gotta trust him on the jet. Sinatra with his filthy Sova, we know what he can do on it. But built by gamers, man, this is one heck of a feat they've got to pull off. Ascent is lined up. Gus, what are your predictions? Because I feel like this could go either way. We talked about it earlier as well. This series could come down to the wire on that third map.
No way you're asking me for my prediction purely because, again, I have no idea what to expect here on Ascent. Sentinels, although it's been maybe 2 or 3 hours, they just got finished losing on this map in the worst way that they have had in months. No, literally, it is the worst loss that they have ever taken on Ascent, and it's against what we've considered as a tier 2 team. Sentinels should not be losing to those types of teams. Nevertheless, on Ascent, I don't know who's going to be able to take this one. I think I'll really be able to base my prediction off of this first map, but if I'm a betting man, I'm still saying Sentinels.
Safe bet, I guess, if you will. Sentinels, they're always have something up their sleeves. Early on, though, no real contest over map control. I mean, Dapper's at least got investigative down towards mid. There's, again, that aggressive Cypher that I mentioned in the pregame. Always looking for map control. He loves to take early fights, and Sentinels, that's their game plan. They're a very well-coordinated team. Everybody knows that. You saw it against Luminosity in the Winter Championship. We're probably going to see it here again. Built by gamers, need to be firing on all cylinders. A minute left on the clock. Slow-paced, paranoia ready for Zoms. Shazam up top as well, able to dash away if he needs. Built by gamers, they're walking into the jaws of Shazam and Zoms. Cam will get the first contact, and Will is already on the site.
Will already on site, but Shazam up top, essentially acting as the pivot. He has so much line of sight, and he somehow survives. 70 HP on him, has to take down this turret. This turret could have easily killed him. Good reaction at least, but up on top, it's Rob Wiz and actually Will up in front, but this is massive from Shazam. Emerges from the smoke, and now in comes the retake from Sentinels. And, I mean, just trying to take it back in a sense because that heaven area, it was all theirs. BBG, they're not able to get the drop down. Sentinels, they were almost looking a little bit lost over towards that one site, but although I did say retake, it was almost literally the battle between literally both teams going for retakes of just one singular position. BBG, they weren't able to win it out in the end because of one player, but they still have the Stingers back in this next round, Sully.
Yeah, but like gamers will go for the full buy. There's a theme for some reason. Ever since the Stingers have become this god weapon, everyone seems to want to buy it up here. So Built by Gamers empty their pockets, 0 credits across the board. This could be a round that turns the tides, at least for this half, right? Built by Gamers can reverse the round. They can take the second. Sentinels might not be prepared for it. Recon Bolt gives some info. Shock darts to try and force Pior back. He takes a good chunk of damage. Down to 82 with 14 armor left over. Apologies, shields. As a tag down towards the bottom of mid. Shazam has been caught spotting, and Will has exploited the gap. He's up towards market. But Built by Gamers playing a default. He's not going to go off of it, and still we'll get Shazam caught completely off guard.
Oh, there you go again, Sinatra. Trying to get a little bit of a follow-up over towards B main, but can't get anything again. Great peek out from Will early on. Cutting off a little bit of the rotation and really slowing it down, considering the fact that Will could still be looking over towards that area. But again, it's just empty pressure. 2 kills over towards the B area of things, but BBG, they've absolutely rotated. I mean, they were ready to really take up A main, and Will is still here to take on the battle. Sick with a good win at least. That keeps things still within 1 player. But Rob Wiz still up top with a massive opportunity, and Zoms is just not looking the right way. 2v4 as Sentinels. Not too much of a chance, but at least in terms of Dapper, we know how this man can really explode. Still very slim. Foe with a good setup too. Don't really know if they're going to go for a peek off of this one, but it's really just going to have to be reactionary in terms of the contact. There goes the paranoia. Both Dapper and his teammate are both discombobulated. They can't make their way in. They have to readjust, and they just have no time, Sully.
Yeah, Sick as well with the Bulldog. I think he's going to be looking to save this gun instead. Foe, not privy to the fact that Sick was going for the peak. They're just trying to keep these players on site, get as many exits as possible, but Dapper knows he's got to run. And same thing here in a second with Sick, and he even goes down to the turret, and Dapper's gone as well. So only 1 player stays alive. And Sentinels, well, it could have been Bulldog and a Spectre walking away, and perhaps a light investment around it. They lose everything in that one. So Built by Gamers, Here is their bonus. They're going to buy up light here, and Sentinels don't be looking to make any investments whatsoever. Okay, never
wait a
mind. They've
minute.
gone all in. They've dipped
I
their
was about to
pockets,
say.
and they've gone for it. 4 Stingers and a Phantom.
I was about to say I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
BBG, they
Try
were
and
the ones
convert it
that
back.
forced out the buy last round. So if anything, they only survive with one player. They make the full reinvestment back into this one. I mean, I don't see why Sentinels wouldn't try to fight it. It's still very early into the game. There's still quite a few rounds to actually go. So maybe this gamble, especially with actually better firepower, one of them even has a rifle, could work out in their favor. So BBG, let's see what they can pull off.
Alarm about to check the close corner. Oh, shock dart, barely missing out on critical. Now Rob Wiz, he's been able to lurk up into A so freely, but Dapper does have a cam. He'll get info to players crossing, but I don't think he's got an idea. Rob Wiz is right around the corner, and neither does Zoms. Checks the second, and Rob Wiz with 2. Quick, clean frags, and Built by Gamers have the A site. Sick will try and delay, but even he might get exposed. He does get a kill, but he's down in the red. Will looking for clearance and defender spawn. They're swarming the A site, and Sick has to put on a showstopper. And I mean literally, if he wants to close this one out.
He does have the Phantom, but it's not enough. He was the hero in that round, and well, Sentinels, they just get broken apart early on again. They try to go for a little bit of a cheeky battle back into A main with the off angle, but again, BBG, it's well targeted and well won in a sense where really all the 1vx's for Sentinels just go awry. Watch out for Sinatra, though. Could be able to get a couple of frags to really make things a little bit more expensive for BBG. But they hold on to almost everything they've got, and they can hold on to the SMGs. They don't need to reinvest. Last round was the force from Sentinels. Now, if last round was the bonus, this round is really the bonus.
Yeah, Built by Gamers keeping a decent amount of players alive, even picking up the Phantom from Sick. So they're going to be looking pretty. Rob was the only one that had to make the major investment, and he was the one to go down. The rest sticking to what they've got so far. It could even be a bonus if Rob was wanted, if he just wanted to stick to the Blade Storm, but they're looking back on more damage. Save it for another day, for a rainy day, if you will. Good shock dart from Sinatra, though, to get a lot of early damage. They're going to fight for control back off a 6 fault line. Now, Bjor has to back away. And on the other side, Zoms is contested back towards A main. So the focus needs to be mid. Do they recognize this threat? Yes, they've closed the blast doors. Built by Gamers. They've been deterred there. And with Zoms control towards A, there is so much info here that Sentinels can play off of. The camera as well from Dapper's giving them everything. And they've made a quick rotation back if they need.
Still a little bit of attention over towards A for Sentinels, and not only just a little bit, but a lot of it. In comes actually a full rotation for the team, and Zoms actually holds up the front line. Rob Wiz with a big one onto 6, still Shazam, I mean, with a classic of all things, still takes one back. BBG down to 1 player. They could be able to get the spike down, but that smoke up in Cat could just be broken apart. It's not exactly a wall, folks. Could be walked on apart, but there you go. There's actually a lockdown going in and could get exposed in the matter of seconds. Sentinels slowly make their way on. Zoms actually gets one back. That Killjoy ulti still going in, but they have to stay on the right outside of it. Bjor now 1v2. Nobody gets detained. It's still taking up a little bit of time off the take. This is just very confusing in a sense. Bjor's just anticipating if anyone would actually be able to walk through this. Good bullets on. Gonna go for the spray. There's one trying to punish. Oh, he still gets it, but the defuse goes in strong. And Sentinel somehow, with such a scattered take, and BBG losing out on the first few interactions on site, well, it all breaks apart, and it whittles over for a Sentinels win.
Yeah, Dapper put the pressure on that smoke. They knew exactly what he needed to do. Ensure that the diffuser did not go down. You said Bjor was taking off so much time off the spike clock. And well, you were right. So they recognize they need to put pressure on Bjor to ensure that he can't take down Zoms. Or else Dapper might not even had a chance had he even gotten the trade. So 2-2. Still a buy here for Built by Gamers. Shazam's now picked up the operator. He's looking straight down towards Cat. He is forced to back away because of a recon bolt. Good info here from Built by Gamers. They recognize the threat of Shazam now. But this control, the battle for A main continues. And it looks like for now, Sentinels are taking the worst of it as already Sinatra goes down through a wall to Bjor.
And Shazam. It doesn't look like Dragon stopping any of this pressure. Wow, that dash was so far. Somehow Will able to catch Shazam as, I mean, honestly, Shazam, beautiful heads up play. He sees the smoke in the back line, and he was almost able to hide from it, but even then, BBG, the two-man dub thus far, two-man advantage in terms of frags, but there's 2 people on site here, Sully. But the util just might not be worth it. The firepower is what's just gonna come up huge, but really, the util is coming out. Sick still on the front lines, and oh man, Sick! 2 amazing shots, but even then, Critical and Bior with the trades back, and that 2-man advantage does come in huge at the end.
Tricky position for Zoms. No paranoia, or apologies, he does have a paranoia. I meant to say no smokes, but that's been charged up. Turret reveals his positioning, so this gets even harder. Smoke dropped as well. And he's struggling to take down that turret, but he does get it. And I think with the time that turret bought them, he's going to have to save. Either that or go for some cheeky exits. He's actually sticking around. He's trying to ensure that nobody gets out of this one alive. If he can't live, nobody can. If they can't win the round, it's going to cost you here. Zom sticking, trying to get something out of this one. Can't get the first kill onto Critical, but they're dancing around Bior to go down. There's one to his right, and he doesn't even recognize the threat. 3-2, and Built by Gamers, they walk away with 2 bodies. But Sentinels, a huge investment off that operator, and this is, again, a weird economic situation. Zoms is the only one that's financially stable now.
Yeah, we're not exactly in that position either, where BBG was, quote-unquote, in a bonus earlier. Sentinels, they can't really afford or really rationalize a buy here or force. So instead now Zoms at the 5K mark, he doesn't exactly know what to do. Oh, yeah, he does. Oh, yes, he does. He tosses down the operator down to Shazam. What on earth is this gamble? Doesn't work out for them.
Oh, Shazam might have a chance. It could have worked out. Or at least netted 1 frag there, but Shazam backs away. I don't think they want to give away the fact that he has an op so early on, but you can clearly see Built by Gamers are prepared for it. They recognize Zom had 5K and could have dropped over the operator. Like you said, this is a huge gamble for Sentinels. They should be looking to invest some ultimates around it, right? The Rolling Thunder, the Hunter's Fury, everything to accommodate a retake. Built by Gamers clearing everything out. Shazam on the B site, but Built by Gamers, that threat still looms over them. And they are so scared about it. Critical looking for something. Won't be able to catch Sinatra off guard. They do progress towards Cat. The cam up for Dapper will give him all the information he needs. Smoke's dropped as well by Zoms, and BBG, they have no idea where to go. 45 seconds left. The only control they have is back towards A main. And it's going to be a full-on take. But again, 3 players here. A lockdown, or apologies, not a lockdown. A Rolling Thunder and a Hunter Series for both sides could be the game changer for Sentinels.
Could indeed be, but there you go. There's that Rolling Thunder that I mentioned before. It takes up so much space and actually halts up the take for a little bit more. Double Hunter's Fury going back and forth. And not only that, but a lockdown to cover up the A site. It's pure chaos. And there you go. The solo up of Shazam actually does catch up one. Zoms now with a frenzy. Long range tries to get another one, but now the pistols start to hound. It's working. Sick gets 2 off of it. And Shazam with the op. He makes it count with another double. Sentinels, the eco. They shut down BBG again. These rounds are starting to get so unpredictable now, but that is just Sentinels overwhelming BBG.
The delay of a Rolling Thunder, the Hunter Series, to spill disaster for Built by Gamers. The frenzies come up clutch. Built by Gamers, they had nothing going for them. No control towards B except for a single turret detailing whether a push was coming. And they were just playing around Shazam Sentinels. They were ready for his op to sing on the B site. It didn't need to sing. It got all the info playing it solo. And Built by Gamers, they concede the round. They're going to try a hero rifle of their own, but it's Critical with a Vandal instead. Sinatra with an early shock dart to deny input, to deny presence. He does end up backing away, but it's going to look for some more. Yours try to creep around here. Dapper up top towards Cat. Sees bullets going through. They recognize the force here. And Dapper, so aggressive on the Cypher. Has got all this information. A retake of B main, and Sick catching Bior off guard. He lines up a second. Trades go in, but it's just one. Critical. 1 versus 3 has 89 HP, but does have the spike. Shazam has his number. He's watching the angle, and had not been for the Owl Drone. A tough clutch to be put into, but Critical has pulled a third back here, Gus. 1 versus 2. Doors don't go down, but he is stuck on the site.
Oh, critical. Oh, baby. 1v2. Has a couple of players in his scope. Gonna be able to get one wide swinging and critical. Looking for the ace. And it doesn't happen by 1 bullet. Dapper, are you kidding me? Survives with 30 HP in Sentinels. I mean, I talked about dodging bullets earlier, but man, oh man, Dapper had to be essentially Neo from the Matrix at that point. BBG, what an opportunity. But at the beginning of things, right, it had to be Sentinels with their hard B main presence. Still Shazam being huge on the operator, getting an early frag in mid. It all led up to BBG really depending on a miracle. That should never happen, but critical, what an opportunity.
Guys, way too close. Look at the replay. I mean, this was the engagement that I thought would have ended the round 3v1 in critical. It's Shazam missing that shot. He's able to pick up a third, and it comes so close. He only had the same amount of HP. Like you said, 1 bullet. Literally dodged a bullet there, Dapper. But now, 1 round still separating them. The full buyback for Built by Gamers, at least. Critical with an owl drone to scout, but they don't know where Shazam is. He's still so close to the archway, and Shazam is gifted the first frag. Out goes a swing, and Zombs and Dapper are there to collect upon it as the Grim Reapers themselves. 5 versus 3, and there's no punishment onto Sentinels for their early aggression, except that Rob Wiz escaped his way through the A main position, but they do know because of the neural theft now where he belongs.
He belongs up in A, and oh boy, Shazam belongs with the operator. Oh gosh. The 1-2 combo again, and not only that, but Rob Wiz, he did end up getting spotted out by this breach in the back lines. It's Sick who ends up getting the last kill. So Sentinels, that was as quick and clean as you can get mid control from BBG. It was attempted, but ended up being completely squandered. I mean, shoutouts to Rob Wiz, right? He was able to get all that info, and honestly, if that mid take or just that mid control ended up really going down, this round could have actually been a BBG's, but instead Sentinels holding down and relying on the players that were going a little bit more aggressive. I mean, they get it done. So now BBG, they're stuck on what would be a half buy once again. Critical hide, glass cannon guardian. That's a weird one.
No, he's gonna send it back. He's got a Hunter's Fury. Okay, Zombs. Big sound Rob Wiz. This is a chaotic round. Zombs still sitting behind the garden. Dapper in the middle of the site. Good for 2. Critical. Glass cannon, guardian. Is that really a cannon at that point? I've got no idea. You're up close. He does manage one back. Maybe could pack on a little more damage, but Dapper's there to clean it up. 6-3 Sentinels. They make quick work of the round. They do end up losing 2, but no major investments need to be made. They hold on to the op, and I think that's what matters most. Next round, though, Built by Gamers, the buyback. But they are down by 3 rounds, and this is the turning point where they need to flip the switch and get back into gear.
Leave them right here.
They need the momentum back. And in this one, it's a little bit more scattered to BBG. They've tried this a couple of times. It hasn't been too successful, but that's mainly because Sentinels, although they're aggressive, it's well targeted in a sense. Especially now that Shazam, he's actually backed off of his mid position, and now he's taking up more of Cat. Oh, that owl drone is going to take him away from his spot. That could have actually been a huge lineup for the man, but actually Sinatra on his lonesome on B. Like I mentioned, off the default, you're going to have players all over the place. And actually Sinatra getting his kill. And not only that, but Shazam baiting out time from that owl drone and finding a perfect opportunity onto critical. Before this round is really getting started, BBG is down to already 3 players, but Will on his lonesome, able to get 1. And not only that, but this B site is wide open. But A site is where everyone is at.
Right,
45
yeah, no
seconds
spike.
left.
Built by Gamers, well, Will has this site. There is no spike for them, and that is a long rotation. And look at Shazam. He's trying to cut it off. Same thing with Dapper. They recognize the fact that Will could be in market, but he has his back turned. He could go down here. Will misses the timing. He's got 3 players around him, and none of them have a single clue, but the trip triggers the turn, and Dapper takes him down. That could be the round unless Rob Wiz can entry cleanly as Zombs sits, waits, 41 HP, but a spray to go down, and Rob Wiz takes him out. 3 versus 2, but they do have this sight, and that's what matters most right now.
No, absolutely. Zoms needed that one, but oh no, the spike never went down. It was so close to doing so. Still, now with a little bit more time, they finally do, but Foe, who's discombobulated by the Rolling Thunder. I mean, talk about perfectly timed. Just as that spike was about to take to the very last second, that Rolling Thunder comes in and stops it all. So Sentinels, they take full advantage of the 2 players that are completely off guard. And BBG, they have no chance.
It's the safeguard. When you need an ult or at least something to force a player off, you call upon that Rolling Thunder. Sentinels now, so much pressure applied. I mean, you see how aggressive these players are being. Shazam and Dapper scouting out mid, Zoms to assist. It's a roller coaster for Built by Gamers, and I'd say they've taken a little bit of a too many loop-de-loops. Feeling a little bit nauseous. 7-3. Early spray from Sinatra, but he's actually received a couple bullets back his way. Recon bolts exchange, but Built by Gamers, no one comes out the better, no one comes out the worse. And then Sentinels for now, a decent lock here. Sick prepared with the flashpoints. Watching for now a recon bolt, but out's not to come. They used that earlier. Sick with a flash. Trying to delay, but where are these rotations? Dapper's down mid, and Sick is doing what it can to hold them back.
And again, with that lockdown up, there's still more space for Sentinels to try to catch up a couple of frags. And even with the lockdown, they're not even taking the site yet. I mean, that's just incredible to me. There's one player in the back of site who's detained at the moment, but he's just waiting for that detainment to go down. I mean, it's the hardest bait on planet Earth, but even then, Critical, he recognizes it, but Sinatra still gets the kill back. Bjorn now 1v2. Has the Vandal back, looking for a headshot, still trying to go very aggressive, and good fake off the spike plant. One more player remaining, both players down to low HP, and Bjorn! He pulls it off! 1v3, and just like that, BBG, they have a chance. But you gotta think, right, Bjorn, he tried to take up as much space as possible for this BBG team on site, had the lockdown. Sentinels still fought it, and you gotta give it up to Sinatra too. What a great idea.
Yeah, to sit in the back, and Shazam as well, great op shots. It felt like when those 2 op shots go off for Shazam, it didn't seem like they stood a chance. It felt like Built by Gamers were out of this round. But Bjorn, you said he takes that space and he uses it to its maximum potential. Gets everything out of his positioning. And Sentinels, a close one, but Built by Gamers. We said he could be one of the best Sentinels, one of the best killjoys in North America. Bjorn stands strong in the clutch position. Last round of the half, and Sentinels, they want to extend their lead just a little bit. But Built by Gamers, again, hot on their tail. 4 players stacked up. Have a Neural Theft, a Blade Storm, and a From the Shadows for Sentinels. And it's Will who only has the Empress. Rob Wiz watching for a spot, a little bit of an elevated position. They need a pick to go off of this one. They could just be walking in blind. And there are 3 players here. Fault line to hold them back. Aftershock and flashpoints as well. Built by Gamers. There's going to be a plethora of utility waiting for them. So they opt to cancel. But Bjorn, can he get anything out of this one?
For BBG fans, I would hope so, because he's in such a weird position. But no, he can't. Dapper gets him back, and not only that, but the neural threat goes big. Ultimately, the worst case scenario for Bjorn. Now, in they go, actually. Sentinels, they've almost full rotated here on site. Sinatra somehow able to get a massive kill through the wall, and now Sick, he's the one really holding things back. Shazam spots out one, trying to fly on away, but instead now Rob Wiz with a classic and literally 0 hope as Sick, after the 2K on site, holds W, and he takes down BBG one last time for the half. 8-4 going into the second, and BBG, they've gotten no momentum under their belts. Almost all of their rounds coming in scattered off of a streak for Sentinels.
Sentinels look good on the defense, but now we got to go back to this play. Big shot from Dapper, and the Swiss Army knife of Sick pivoting around whenever his team needs him to play any position. He comes up huge. Sentinels, big play from Sick to close it out 8-4, but like you said, no momentum here for Built by Gamers. This was a map that they looked very good on so far. Keep in mind, their strongest side is the defense. This is where they need to turn up. The pistol round needs to come big. I think a 62% win rate on the defensive side, but Sentinels, based on the buy, they're looking to get aggressive. Shazam with light armor and a frenzy, but they take it slow despite the frenzy guns they've got built by gamers. How did they adjust? So much utility here by Bior on the A site to try and lock it down. It is Rob Wiz up close to make the first contact, but Flash to go in, allowing Shazam to swing. There's more to come with a Cypher Cage down, and I think instantly Built by Gamers recognize they are going to be playing retake here, but these Nanostorms can do so much damage as Shazam finds coverage under Heaven. That'll delay the spike plant as Will's able to drop it, and BBG, because of Nanostorms, can keep this one going.
Oh, sick. This could be big. Fault line down the line.
They don't even know about Bior.
No, they have zero clue about Bior. Bior still just vibing. I mean, it's almost unbelievable that he's still in there. Could be the linchpin, but Shazam just trying to make up as much space as possible. In goes Foe, but even then, finally emerging from their positions. Bior wasn't able to get any kills, but he definitely makes up space. Sick gets one back. Same thing with Will. Same thing with Sinatra. And now on the 1v1, Sinatra anticipates the peek from Will off of a recon bolt. I mean, that was as last second as you can get in Sentinels. Even off of that setup from BBG, even off of the man advantage, they still take it back.
It's such a tricky position if you're Will, because you see that recon bolt and you recognize, I have to swing, but I'm not there in time. He's going to have the better positioning off the tick, and gives at least Sinatra just a couple of seconds extra that he needs to figure out what's going on. Built by Gamers, second round 4 spy. Just like we saw in the prior where they were able to convert. Can they do it here again? You talked about momentum. Well, this would be a momentous round for them in this game, at least in map number 1. Already Will taking a deep position in B main. Mojo looks to clear but doesn't get anything. There it is. Will able to get one. Overhealed now as Foe trades it out. They're still up a man in a 3v4, and Shazam has taken a heap of damage. As Built by Gamers, they somehow have the advantage with the scrappy guns they've gone into.
Well, in they go. Rob Wiz is actually still awaiting up in Heaven with only a classic, but even then, Sentinels. Taking on the site back. BBG almost a full rotation already. You have Zoms in a really important position at this point, especially with Cap being more or less open. Could still be that pivot for the spike going in later, but Shazam is really going to have to be the instigator, and indeed he is. Able to get one, but even then, Rob Wiz with a trade back. Sick still has the fault line, waiting up for that spike to still get pinged, and indeed he gets it. Zoms is still in the same position. Critical is still defusing, but Sick right through the smoke gets it. Now Zoms, 1v2, waiting up for another one. 15 HP on both. Rob Wiz gets it back. And if I'm not mistaken, Spike is down to half, and he has more than enough time. Sentinels pulled this off so many times in the first half, but BBG, they get one back on an eco round.
Dude, Rob Wiz has such a gamble there. He knows that he's 1 HP. He knows Zoms is 1 HP. You either jump, you either get the kill, or Zoms expects it and you go down. Such a gamble by Rob Wiz, but it pays off. It catches Zoms off guard. And Built by Gamers, they're 2 for 2 in second round conversions despite losing the pistol. This is amazing. Sentinels, there's that momentum, but here's the same buy to follow. A Phantom for Sick and 4 Stingers bought up. We saw what they could do, but Built by Gamers in the first half were able to take it from them. Is it going to be the same thing here with Sentinels aggressive towards A main? There's the swing. Rob Wiz with one. Has to back away off the dash, and they look to reset here as Sentinels are slowed down with Dapper on a lurk.
Sinatra tries to force out the scenario himself, but it's really Bior to actually get 2 frags.
One enemy remaining.
Rob was with 1, and again, no matter what Sentinels actually tried to pull out in that round, it all just came down to the A main interactions. That's massive from BBG. Purely because for really these last 2 rounds, Sentinels, they've almost been willing to walk through these sites relatively willy-nilly, just carefree. BBG with a hard hold early on. It's going to be flawless. The rifles, they make them count. And now they're just going to be able to save everything into the next round. This is a true bonus.
Yeah, Sentinels. First half holds true. Or Built by Gamers take the third after converting the second. Now Sentinels here, like you said, they don't really have much. So this is their true bonus. Built by Gamers. Not a lot at stake here. But of course, Sentinels with a couple clean shots, you never know what could happen. So the risk factor is still prevalent. Shazam could use the Blade Storm if he wants to. Sick with a Rolling Thunder if they want to go for an exec. Depending on what kills they find early on, though. That's the key thing. I don't think they're going to be looking to invest the Rolling Thunder, at least in particular. If they can't get a good start, if they can't get the ground running, or hit the ground running, apologies, as Rob was hoping to delay that push out towards middle. Well, there they go. Hit the ground running indeed. First shot with the Blade Storm, and it's a kill. 4v5 Sentinels. This could be a call for a Rolling Thunder now.
And that's yet another one of those effects that Sentinels, they've been, again, very patient early round throughout really the entire game. And they take on that same mindset into the attacking side where really it's just Shazam waiting out on an opportunity for someone to peek out over towards Cat. And he fully takes it to his advantage. But wow, Bior, you gotta be kidding me with that sort of patience in a sense. Still able to get that kill, but Dapper with a frenzy gets one back. But oh, foe! The Stinger comes out massive, lines him up. 1, 2, 3 for him. But now Shazam, 1v2 with the knives out. Gonna have to get this last one at least. But Critical gets it back. Foe, are you joking me?
3 kills off a Stinger, and they lose 3. It doesn't matter, though, Gus, because you know what that round was? It was just their bonus. They lined themselves up. Look at the replay. They all walk in quick succession, full blinded off of foe's paranoia. It was picture perfect for him, and he gets it done. Oh my God, Built by Gamers. They're bringing this one close. That was their bonus, and here's their one extra. They've got an operator for Rob Wiz now, and he might just get a couple of picks because they're walking right into B. Link's good tag, though, from Dapper does force him away. And that will give Sentinels control of mid, at least for now.
Yeah, no, that's big. Especially like you mentioned, Rob Wiz in such an important position. Could have been able to actually clear out a little bit more, but that Owl drone actually spotting out one over towards... Oh no, still over towards the garage, but Shazam fully has the angle, and he still wants to fight this. It's a little bit weird, but Market is fully in the target of Shazam. Great communication. Flash right into a dash. But 2 players here on this site, and Will has the Empress of Darkness out, looking to explode, but it's not going to happen. Shazam takes him down. Zoms gets a kill in the back of sight. That is clean, and that is clinical for Sentinels.
Rob Wiz on a flank. He could get something. Dapper, no. Missed shot. Knives out. And this is a threat. There are 2 players here. Can he get the first? Nothing for him. Bior on the run. Tail tucked between his legs. It's a 10th round for Sentinels, but Bior is not going down without a fight. Decent exits. That's all they are. He even gets the lockdown charged up, and there's not more to come. Sentinels walk away confidently with 3. Bior did what he could, but Built by Gamers, they can't find the 8th, and Sentinels on double digits. That is going to sting, but they do have enough credits, however. Rob Wiz with the only major investment in the last is the one that's going to have to suffer, but the buy, still definitely doable with Critical's Odin. See what he can get towards B main, and with Rob Wiz having to now work with a Vandal, shouldn't be too much of an issue for them. As Sentinels, 3 rounds away from taking map 1. Can they keep on the pressure?
Again, interesting stuff because BBG, they had a good early setup, but it's just broken apart again. But oh wow,
oh no, oh no.
Okay, Will, I was about to say, the recon dart goes out, and instead of falling to it and essentially just wanting to take on the battle, he actually wants the Hunter's Fury back over towards B. But again, it's that weird scenario where really just the most off-angle things or just the most off-kilter things can count as a fake. And indeed it did. Sentinels are now fully onto this A site. But oh boy, the Killjoy ulti that we saw getting charged up last round by Bior is finally coming out to play. And well, now the rest of Sentinels, they all have to back out over towards that A site. BBG, they're all here. They're waiting out for a couple of smokes. That jet smoke is going to take just a little bit to dissipate, but they're still fighting. Oh my!
They're detained. All
wow,
3.
Are you kidding me? So many detainments off of just 1 go. Now Bior is able to get 4. What? Sentinels, they wanted to fight that as early as possible. I mean, imagine if they had the Hunter's Fury at the very end of things, but again, that's just semantics. The lockdown goes in. You would expect Sentinels to just stay away from it and not fight, but instead they all get detained. Easy frags for Bior.
That's insane. They all get stuck. Last second, 3 detained. That is such an awkward position. The lockdown, I guess, from Bior. Those exits in the last didn't go for nothing. And he gets 4 here. He's almost back to another lockdown. Within 2 rounds, he could have 2 lockdowns. Sentinels were completely caught off guard, and now Built by Gamers, momentum back in their side. The question was, could Sentinels keep the pressure? Well, no, they couldn't. 10-8, and Built by Gamers are back into this game.
Yeah, they sure are. In the weirdest way possible. Sentinels, I mean, they've been so clinical off those takes, and I was just like, oh, maybe they can continue things. But instead, at this point, Rob Wiz, oh man, what a spot. Not only that, but he was the first contact too, but still an even better angle. Bjor still was sitting up towards the A site, able to get one, but that's a quick trade that they absolutely needed. Watch out though, there is a teleport, and right as I say it, there it goes for Zoms. Zoms is going to be able to get the B plant, but not only that, but watch out. Sick is on the flank. Sick has such an important angle. He can catch 1 or 2 players. Gonna be able to get one. It's a firing range for him. Tippity tapping away. Able to get 3 out of it. Oh my lord, Sick. BBG, they had all the momentum in the round. They win out the initial interactions. Sentinel seems like they were done over towards that A site, but instead, the teleport goes over and nobody clears Cat. Sick is just having it for free.
It's back-to-back rounds with 2 solo plays. Bjor's insane lockdown play, and then 6 insane lurk. He's having a game and a half right now, 23-14. The dude is on one as breach. This Sentinels roster, it feels like there's been no dip in performance. Maybe Sinatra, but even then, everyone is playing their part. His support has been insane. And Built by Gamers on the verge of defeat possibly with this round loss. Who knows? Now we'll drone to get info, but there are 4 players waiting. And are they ready? Paranoia out. Contacts are made. Swings go in, and they go blow for blow. 3 versus 2, and Bjor's got a lockdown off of just 1 single kill. Sentinels scamper away from the A site, and critical is what awaits them. If he can get the tip, but he taps like you said that Sick had, this round could be over, but they don't cross. They readjust back to Cat, but there is so much utility from Bjor waiting for them here. Alarm bots, nanostorms, it's going to be hell for Sentinels as they walk on in.
Indeed it is. There you go, folks. Not only that, but the alarm bot takes it up, and Foe was there. Wow, Bjor. Now, what a readout. What a setup. BBG in that round, they were the ones with the full control. And now Sentinels, not the best of positions, right? I mean, it almost seems like 5 minutes ago we had Bjor on his own lockdown. Oh wait, it was about 5 minutes ago. I mean, he's been exploding this map. 21 kills for Bjor on the Killjoy of all characters. I mean, that's huge. And now Sentinels, they could start to bait out a little bit more off of this one. It is 11-9. They're really just desperate to get that elusive 12th and 13th rounds. They're going to have to work at it. It isn't Eco and BBG. They're the ones getting tantalizingly close.
Yeah, Rob Wiz waiting, recognizing that Tapper probably threw up a cam, took a little bit of a late peek. Couldn't, unfortunately, catch anybody. Now, Sentinels. Zoms has worked his way up in market. He needs to be so good on this lurk. Rob Wiz sees nothing. These are the adjustments Sentinels are trying to adapt, but BBG right on back again. This lockdown. You see the position Bjor has. If he goes down, Sentinels could take the round, but they are banking on this lockdown. They need Bjor to stay alive, and it's quiet. Sentinels, 55 seconds, so much control everywhere on this map. They're right on the doorstep of Catwalk. They're literally in market knocking on B. And they've got utility and ults to do it as well. Zom's looking for anything. Nothing spotted. He's the one player. 1 knife left over as Shazam is elected to use it instead for the turret. And Rob Wiz, he's expecting him. And Shazam, tricky position to be in with only 1 blade.
30 seconds
left his blade store.
Oh, wait. He does have Rob Wiz at a headshot angle, but I think he ended up using it.
Spike planted.
Yeah, I think he ended up using it off the first contact too. So unfortunate, right? But I was actually expecting a little bit something crazy from him. But wow, okay, Bjor actually goes for the lockdown in that same position, and not only that, but the Rolling Thunder is gonna cover them up. Double over towards Cat. That's a beautiful takedown of the lockdown by Sentinels. Only 1 frag back for them though.
Shazam?
Not only that, but Rob Wiz is starting to help. Shazam, he was in the back of sight for the longest time. Still a 2-on-3 though. It's the pistols that help to hold things back, but it's actually the stinger from Dapper to get himself
1v1?
2 kills. Oh no, 1v1, low HP. No way Dapper takes this. He does. Sentinels off the eco. BBG, they get completely wiped over towards Cat. They make their way on site. Shazam on the frenzy. Dapper on the stinger of all things. And BBG gets shut down again. How many times are we going to see an eco round from either one of these teams? How many times are we going to see an eco from Sentinels?
Back to back to back, insane rounds. First first Bior, and then Dapper, and then Sick, sitting in the back. What an insane round. I mean, Sentinels. This is one heck of a game. The last few rounds have been nothing but amazing. Rob Wiz aggressive down towards A main. Oh my god, this is intense now. Dapper dropping a sight for Cage, but look at these tags. So much damage done. One off of the Nanostorm. It's a flip block, and again, Built by Gamers. It's a 5v3. Dapper's trying to salvage something, but just some way. Built by Gamers battle their way back. A Hunter's Fury and then a Nanostorm. All they need, and Shazam revealed. This is so tricky, but Dapper in alert. This is big. He's got one. Gate goes down. And now just down to 4 for Built by Gamers, but Dapper ready. Trip goes up. He's got 3 in his sights. Can he get anything? Nothing. 2v4, and it's Sick and Shazam, the top fraggers, to try and clutch this out.
Putting up in a crossfire too, and goes the first contact as foe. Now it's just Shazam down to a 1-on-4, and he's realistically in the worst spot possible for a multi-man retake. So there you go, BBG. They dodged the 13th round, and yeah, like you mentioned, I actually do have to correct myself. Earlier I said Dapper when instead it was actually Sick at the end of that round with a stinger, but even then, Dapper just the round before went absolutely massive, but in this round it was critical really to open up the space. I mentioned that this guy was a really good consistent fragger in a sense, but we haven't seen too much of him in terms of really highlight plays or something of the sort. But that Hunter's Fury was really what made the round. It's the util for really the entirety of BBG that opens things up. But I mean, if we're talking about util, we're talking about frags, Bior has been the one to control all sorts of tempo in this game thus far.
Yeah, his utility has been massive for Built by Gamers. It's been a game changer for them, and I think it was ultimately keeping them in this game. A couple players, one charge off the ult, in particular Sinatra. Dapper scrapes away with 4 HP. Barely standing and lucky to get out of that situation alive. Full B main control assumed here by Built by Gamers, and Sentinels on the back foot. They've got to make this rotation. They understand a coordinated hit is needed, right? They have a Hunter Street for Sinatra. Maybe they can use that in some fashion. Built by Gamers. Players are ready to rotate. Will not too far off. He's controlling mid, ensuring no late lurks from Dapper. Recon bolts. Straight to the top to clear out Spike, but there is a big shock dart. Sick to capitalize. Clearing out the back sight, Sinatra gets nothing. The third shot, nothing more. And now Sentinels with the first kill have cleared out the site, and it leaves Built by Gamers in a 4v5 retake for the game and a possible 24th round.
Possibly so, but it's tough for BBG, especially off that little peek there. Yeah, we got a hint of it. Dapper from behind with the Singer, 4 HP. He might have just put the dagger into BBG, and now in comes Sinatra with another SMG. Well, there you go. Will now, 1v3. These players aren't approaching him. It's just chunking time off the clock. Will has to make this perfect and right on time. These last 2 players, they're not peeking for a reason. Will gets the perfect pre-fire, but Shazam finishes it off. And just like that, Sentinels, they win out the map 13-10.
Exactly what you wanted for Sentinels to get it going after a 13-5 loss against Serenity. It seemed like they were a little bit shaky on Ascent, but this was nothing of the sort. They looked good on both sides. Built by Gamers, though, they brought the heat, they brought the fire, and they looked good as well. Congratulations, Sentinels. You're up 1-0, but now you've got the second map, Haven. Your map pick where you need to close it out, and Built by Gamers, just off their performance and just off their recent performances on Haven, this second map is still undecided, and despite it being Sentinel's map pick, could be BBG's, and we could obviously see a third here.
No, absolutely we could. I mean, what a game between both of these teams. Hard fragging out coming in from Bior, but it simply wasn't enough at the very end of things. Still, Shazam stayed very consistent throughout the entire game, and we really saw him at the last round, right? I mean, he still came out huge. Same thing with Sinatra, same thing with Dapper. And again, really the story of that game. How do the SMGs and the pistols really hold off BBG almost every single time? I mean, if we were talking about complexity and how efficient they were on their ecos, Sentinels is on an entire other level. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching.